sometimes the good guy does not meet those qualifications. Sometimes the good guy is extremely passive. He lets her do whatever and run the show, but it gets to a point where she gets tired of making all the decisions all the time. Mm-hmm. She wants you to meet her halfway with it, you know.
Well, just because you're a good guy, do you feel good guys are like spineless?
No, I'm just speaking generally about some qualities that some good guys that might not be the best for the good guy. Yeah. And I'm speaking in general.
Relationships, you know, it's like a power struggle because a lot of women try to define what a man is supposed to be. And then there are some guys that'll allow a woman to define what a man is supposed to be. And then that's when everything kind of gets screwed up.
I don't know if she's trying to define who you're supposed to be.
Because I'll give you
if you're in a relationship and
I'll give you
every day it's like, babe, what you wanna eat, what you wanna do. I don't care, do it, whatever you want to do, whatever. She's constantly making all of the decisions. You're not, because you're trying to be a good guy and trying to let her have her wants, but you're not speaking up and you're not.
You're also not trying to control her.
Right.
Like, and it's like you're
also not meeting her halfway either. You're not meeting her halfway. You're not being honest about the things you want. All of the burdens and responsibilities become on her.
Well, I got a question. Because what if you're with a guy and he's like allowing you to make whatever decisions you want, and it's not because he doesn't have the ability to, it's because he has enough foresight to be like, okay, all this stuff doesn't bother me and it's not affecting the overall big picture of how like the relationship and everything else is. Like everything's cool and stable, you know, like, and the reason why I bring this up is because sometimes in relationships, a woman will constantly keep testing a guy to see where the boundaries are when there's no issue that's at hand. And if she can't find a boundary, then, you know, like basically deliberately create a problem that he's solving all of a sudden, then all of a sudden there's something wrong with him. Because
there's a couple things there. You talking about like two different topics at once.
No. So I know what he's saying, because me and my husband have this issue and I love him dearly. And this is something that, you know, we're working on. We're in therapy for it, but we work on it. Is because it's one of those things where I tell him this. I'm like, honey, for instance, like we're looking for a house. I'll just give you an example. We're looking for a house. So I make all the phone calls to the realtor, to the broker, to set up appointments, to get him where he needs to go. And he just handles the financial portion of it because he's paying for the house and it's all going in his name. But I told him, I said, why am I doing all the calling? Why am I doing all of the everything? Like, why is it solely on me? He said, because I need to make you happy. He said, because the house is something that you want and it's something that you want to live in, and you have to be comfortable with it. And I said,
and that's logical.
I said, no. I said, this is our home. I want you to feel just as comfortable in the home as I am. He said, well, as long as I have my man cave, I'll be fine. And I said, no. Like, no.
That might be what he wants.
Right.
Understandable, but this is a team effort here. We're married, we're raising a family together. I want your input just as much as my input is.
And he just gave it to you.
I understand, but why aren't you giving me?
She's asking for more, but you're missing the point that she's asking for more. She wants help with calling. She wants help with looking. She wants it to be a inclusive.
No, that's directly in line with what I was talking about. What she was saying. She's trying
and I was mentioning that too, because what happens is he gets complacent and doesn't help. He's a good guy.
It's not
but now all of the burden is on her.
Alicia, wait, no, it's not.
All of the decision making.
Alicia, you said that
work, all of the it gets draining.
Alicia, you said that he's putting all the money up for this.
Yeah.
Why is that not considered his part of the partnership?
Because you still have to live in it. If it's something, okay, so Brandon, so you're saying I could go find a house. I was given a price range of a house. Okay. I can go find a house, any house.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's something that you don't like or want, then you're stuck with it just because it's something that I wanted.
I got what you're saying. Yeah. If you want to avoid him being miserable in a home, all he had to do is have some more input in it. Now you asked him, right? He said, "All I need is a man cave." That was his answer.
Also, Brandon, she wants help with the legwork.
Right. Like
So
it would be nice to know.
It's not just only the thing you just said. It's also she's asking for help. I don't know if y'all are hearing it.
I am, but also how about this though? The reason I brought up the money thing is if it's supposed to be help with the legwork, like 50-50 type of partnership, then she put up 50% of the money, he puts up 50% of the money, and they split the workload down the middle as well. And then that's like, how that would work. But in this situation, he's putting up the money, she's putting up legwork, and mission accomplished.
This goes along with what I was trying to say.
Mission's not accomplished because now she's still upset. She just asked you for help with that part of it.
He wants, but now because it seems like it's just too easy, she wants to pull more out of the situation.
No, it's not that I want to pull more out of the situation.
She just asked for help and y'all disregarded it.
So this is how men and women. This is where I wanted to point to you where you're saying that.
Because she's saying to you, I need help with this part of it.
I was trying to answer that, but I wasn't being.
No. I'm trying to get to your point where you said that, where you were talking about, you're making an issue when there is no issue.
There's an issue. She just
there is an issue, and you're missing the issue. So
no, I see what you're talking about, and I keep trying to address that directly.
Okay, I'm gonna be quiet, and I want you to address it directly.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. I heard you clearly. You want to get more input from him, and it seems like you're only getting this little bit. So he's probably missing the fact that you do want more engagement.
Now, all right. Is it that you feel you need help, or you would like to have more help? There's a difference.
I would like to have more help. I want this to be this is our first home as a married couple. This isn't like, we've been in a house and we're going to sell our other one.
It kind of jumped me.
Huh?
No, I wanted to say something real quick, because my question is, he told you exactly how he feels about the situation. He's content with it. But from what it sounds like, you're not satisfied with his level of contentment in participating with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, if he's cool with everything that you want, and he's willing to give you what you want, but at some point you feel like it's still not enough, then what is he to do?
But Shane, he didn't give her what she wanted because she's asking for help with the legwork.
I know that. But my question is,
let's not disregard that he didn't give her what she. He didn't give her what she wanted. He didn't give her what I
just said. You disregarded what I just said. If I said even if he was to give her what she want, would it be enough?
Yeah, I know that he's not. She's asking for collaboration, and she's not getting it.
Right.
So
now, if he was
at that point, once he makes a couple calls, once he says, "Babe, I saw this house as well. What do you think about it?" Then at that point, there's no issue because he's helped out.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, so if he was to give more input, would it be enough, or would you reach a point to where you even feel like that might be insufficient?
This is what I want. And I'm very clear with him on what I want, because I have figured men out. I think I did.
Okay.
Y'all are simple creatures, remember?
Yeah. And he gave you a simple answer.
Right. Y'all are very simple creatures. And as long as y'all have a realm of what you want, and you're happy and you got what we wanted
Mhm.
and we're happy, then you're happy. Right?
Sure.
Okay. Well, you got your portion of being happy,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not happy. So you did not complete your circle. So
And
what
that
I'm asking for
uh-huh.
is that I don't want to do this by myself.
Bingo.
The only thing that you're doing is literally talking to the broker, because even if I could talk to the broker,
Mhm.
you would leave it to me to do. But because I'm not allowed to do any of your financial anything, because your social security is your own, your money
Okay.
is your own, I can't do that portion. So you have to do it.
Can I
But
ask
if
you a
that
question?
portion was I could do, I would have zero input from you.
Okay,
I
can I
just
ask you a
want,
quick question? All right, I'm gonna pretend I'm your husband. You want me
okay,
to talk to the broker, right?
right.
I don't know anything about discussing anything when it comes to talking to brokers.
Lord,
Okay,
you
now
sound
let me
just
finish.
like my
Let me
damn
finish.
husband.
Now,
He told him he was gonna pretend, and he nailed it.
okay, now
You
let me
did.
finish.
I swear to
Let
God,
me
you
finish.
did.
Let me finish. So you want me to participate and do all this financial discussion that I have no idea how to conduct. I don't have that acumen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I come back to you. What do you want me to say to this person? Now all of a
What the
sudden
fuck
you
you want me to
like,
say
what
to
you
him when
doing
I don't
everything
know
by
shit
yourself
either?
because now you're telling me what to do to tell this person when
I've never bought a house. This is the same discussion that we had, because he said that same exact thing to me. I kid you not. He said that same exact thing
now
to me. And I
with that
told him, I
being
said,
said,
babe,
that
I said,
puts all that stuff to rest about men not listening to their wives.
I have never bought a house. I've
Has
never
he?
bought a house. So
Has
I'm
he
in
ever
the
bought a
same
house?
boat you're in. So
Has he
that's
ever
why
bought a
we need to
house?
do this together. I'm literally figuring it out as we're talking about it. Like
Mhm.
as we're doing this, I'm figuring it out. And it's like, all I want you to do is so we can figure this out together. But I feel like I'm out here on my own boat and I'm
Mhm.
missing my paddles. Like I'm
And it
just
becomes overwhelming for the woman after she's asked you for help.
and that's the answer that you
So
give
can I
me.
give you some advice on
I
that?
mean, do you understand
Yeah.
that concept of how like frustrating that is? Because I don't know, it'd be different if I bought a house before and you're like, babe, you bought a house before, you should know what you're doing. And I'd be like, yeah, you're right. But when I've never done it too, and you're looking at me, well, I don't know what you want me to say. I've never talked to a broker or dealt with a broker
Now
before.
I'm just asking questions. Now, ladies, don't think I'm disregarding anything. If I ask
No.
questions,
I'm not. I'm
when
just
any
giving
man
you.
asks questions, he's trying to understand where you're coming from. Okay. So if you're giving a whole bunch of exposition of all these different things you want to do all at once, and he's trying to figure out things in order based
Mhm.
on what you're giving him, because men, we look at stuff in terms of ABC 1, 2, 3. We can't like look at stuff X, Y, W, Q, Z, 9. You know, we don't take everything
Plus
all at
W
once.
plus
We have to bring it
2XY.
in a common order. So it's not that we ain't listening to you. It's like we're trying to sort out the confusion and then come back to you and say, is this what you're trying to tell me?
Well, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Why do y'all think that we got the answer to it?
Because y'all act like I got the answer to it.
Just asking a question because, yeah,
Well,
that's,
it's not
I feel
that
that's
we
where
act like
men
y'all got the answer to it. We don't know either.
ding,
Yeah, I got
ding, 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 ding. We needed to weed. Like that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. That same thing
Mhm.
that you just said to me is the
She
very
wants to
same
be
thing.
lost together.
We took this journey
Right.
together, so we gonna be
So
lost
with
together.
that being
Right?
said, if he asks you a question because he don't know either, you can't be upset with him for not knowing
No, it's not upset that he don't know something.
or
She
She
wants
don't know
frustrated
him.
or
either.
whatever.
She wants him to make some
She's
phone
upset
calls.
because she said, "I need you to help," and you're like, "I helped. I'm paying."
That's a
Well,
big help.
is that what
How
he's
would someone
doing?
gave me a bunch of money to go make
But
some decisions?
she didn't ask
I'll
for
be
help
all
with the
over that.
pay. She didn't ask for help with the pay. That's taken care of. She's asking for help for the legwork of
All right,
doing
y'all.
this.
We have went completely.
Hold on, wait. Hey,
topic.
Shane.
Huh?
Shane, if someone gave you 500 grand to build a car, you gonna ask them to grab a wrench? Right.
But that's just me. If somebody gave me 500 grand to build a car, I'm gonna figure out how to build a car with what they gave me. Because if I ask them to like
But if
start
it's
picking up a
y'all's car
wrench and
together,
fixing it, they're gonna look at me like, didn't I just give you 500 grand? What more do you want?
Right.
That's
So
the
wait.
truth,
Give
though.
them 500 grand, and then like say it is a car together, right? You ask them, well, what do you want? What kind of features do you want in the car? And they tell you, I just want a seatbelt. Cool. That means to me, the rest of the decisions are mine. Let's do it.
Yep.
yeah, but listen to what you just said. The rest of the decisions are mine. And
Yeah.
she's saying to you, I'm getting overwhelmed with all of these decisions. I need your help.
Well, maybe I'm a little different because
I
I get excited with those. I mean, but I'm so used to doing group projects by myself
But
anyway.
that's not the issue. The issue
Mhm.
is she's getting overwhelmed. She needs your help.
Oh, pro tip: men only know what you tell them.
And that's the hard part because
We
women,
know.
we communicate like this because we don't want to be rude.
Y'all
and-
communicate like
we communicate in a bunch of, men communicate in a
Because
straight
you know
line.
why? You know why we
So like
communicate
with
like
what
that?
she said, I was able to pinpoint exactly what she said she needed. Oh, you need
Mhm.
help with the legwork of this. That's where you need the help with. You don't need help with the finances because clearly that's worked out.
yeah. I mean, because
And then
just
men
using
don't
my experience
hear
as a
it.
man,
Men, it swoops over.
it doesn't swoop
Drugs.
over.
I helped you.
I mean, because I've been in relationships with people that would have whole conversations with me, but never actually say any words. It would just be in their head.
That's
And
what
then they
y'all
come
all
back-
say. Swear to
Huh?
God, I've heard that so many times. But meanwhile, we've had a conversation with you. You just think that it's in your head. Like
Like,
we've
you
had
see
that
how long it
conversation.
took for us to get to the point that she needed help with you calling and stuff? Like, it took
No,
forever
no,
to get to that.
I picked up on it right away. But the question I was
Yeah, I heard
asking
what
was-
she wanted.
Yeah, I ain't say that right away. Neither one
No,
of
No,
y'all.
but I
we
kept
didn't.
getting interrupted.
I like y'all
That's why I
both,
didn't
but
say it
neither
right
one of
away.
y'all
I
said
kept
that
getting
right
talked
away.
over.
Oh no, I know I didn't say it right away.
No, yeah.
I kept getting
No,
talked
y'all
over, so
went
I couldn't
off
even say
into,
it
well,
right away.
he's paying. Well, he said he wanted a man cave. That's where y'all went first.
Yeah. Well, because
That's
so
what he
also,
said.
I also felt that she's like, you know what? I want more input so that you'll be happy in this house.
Right.
And so she
But
right.
I
But that's a little different than saying I want you to make some phone calls, send some emails, and that's
Yeah,
slightly
that's totally
different things.
How
More
do you
input.
figure? How do you figure? Because
All right,
if we're
so
looking for a house,
giving-
Brandon, but listen, if we're
Yeah.
looking for a house,
Yeah.
you feel me? If we're looking for a house and you say, oh babe, I found this house. It got a man cave. It got what you want in it. It got
Okay.
what I want in it. Here, let's look at this one. I'm like, oh, okay,
The
cool.
difference is giving input on the features you want is not the same as you going out and actually looking for it. So you're asking him to help you look for it, not just tell you what he wants in the house.
I see it a
She
little
wishes
differently.
she would have both. But since he
Right.
don't want to give no extra features, then it's like, can you help look for this house too?
I see it
Right.
a
So
little different.
so that's what she wants. She wants both, and she's not getting either one to her liking.
I see this a little different. It's like if I was to like initiate telling somebody what I want for something that it was originally my idea and this other person had no part in that inception of the idea, I'm not going to expect them to have like 50-50 input on something that originally they didn't really have that much interest on. Does that
This
make
is a
sense,
home
Brandon?
y'all gotta live in as a married couple. So
Yeah,
that's
I
a
get
little
what
different.
listen, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but you're missing what I'm saying. I'm saying that like if y'all are just so
I
literal.
totally understand.
No,
You
no,
want
no,
help
no, no,
with
no.
the phone calls.
Females,
and-
we look into things a little bit different. Men are
Mhm.
so literal. Y'all
Yeah.
are so freaking literal.
No, I
That's
totally
so
understand
great. It's
what
like
you're saying
straight there.
because I went through
Laid
it with my
out.
parents.
Nicely.
Like my mom wanted to build a house. My dad was just present. You see what I'm saying? It's like she did all the way work, picking out the materials, finding the builder, talking to the broker, finding a location. My dad was just forking over the money. You know what I mean? at the end of the day, what the reality of the situation is, my dad would have been cool just living in the projects. His contentment level of living space was this small compared to what my mom wanted. So my mom had more of a vested interest in having a better living space than my dad was. So it's like, as long as he had a couch to sit on and a TV in every room to watch sports, he was good.
And this is where the Mr. Good Guy problem sometimes occurs. Because
So
I honestly feel like this is the reason why some people I know got a divorce. He wasn't cheating on her. He wasn't beating on her. He wasn't talking bad to her. But she made every single decision, all of it. And it was cool at first, but it gets draining and overwhelming because there's no collaboration. There's no shift in the workload. There's no meeting of the minds. You're just tagging along.
Right. So that's where the communication comes in. So it's like, eventually my mom had to make it clear to my dad what she wanted out of, a future relationship. You know what I mean? And then eventually my dad had to make it clear what he wanted. And at one point, those things didn't really quite match up. So long story short, communication has to always be present when it comes to any major decision.
Yes.
House, car, whatever.
Wait. Say that one more time.
Communication has to be present when it comes to making any major decision.
Oh, like purchasing a home.
Also, not just communication, active listening.
Huh? What you say? Explain.
Exactly.
No, I get active listening.
Even more so than communication. Active.
Like, I'm an active listener. Like, sometimes the person that's trying to express what they're saying has to be an active listener too, because the person that's listening could ask a question to make sure that they understand what they're being told, and then the person that's doing the telling never listened to the response, and then they're like, why aren't you listening? And it's like, but I just asked you what you just told me.
They have to work. They have to work collaboratively together. Active listening and communication. But then also, I learned this from Will and Jada.
Do you like Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Cheerios? And then I could be like, so you're asking me which cereal I should get? And then you'll be like, wait, I just asked you Cinnamon Toast or Cheerios.
So this goes into our next question.
Wait. I want to add something to that though.
Okay.
Will and Jada. Sorry to mention.
Oh man.
But this is something I did learn from them and a few other people who've been married a long time. You know, I guess you come to a place where you have to reinvent the marriage as well, in a sense. Like you have to sit down. Like have an entanglement? No. But like you do, like, okay, say that dynamic was that where she was making all the decisions, he was just tagging along. If they would sit down, like you said, communication, active listening, and reinvent and redo things, and now they're approaching their marriage in a different way. I hear that like married couples who stay married for decades, they have to do that. They have to reinvent their marriage.
Yeah, that's definitely very important.
Yeah.
Keep it fresh.
Because I will say this, when people look at things like Alicia's going through with this house, it can be draining if you don't have a passion for it. Like if it's not your thing. Like if Alicia was all into houses and watching renovation shows and she loved doing this thing, then it'd be fine. But it's not the case.
Right.
So
I think what it comes down to, I mean, I'm glad you brought that up. It's like when two people have two different passions and things, I don't think you can fault one more than the other, because it's like me, I like customizing cars and stuff like that. If I'm with somebody, I can't expect them to be just as passionate as I am about going to the track or going to the car shows or helping me do whatever I'm trying to do with my cars, I mean, it wouldn't be fair to them if I put that much pressure on them.
Chris Rock spoke on this too. He said, being in a marriage is like being in a band. He was like, sometimes you're the lead singer, and sometimes you're just in the back with the bongos or with the triangle, like ding. So like, but y'all have to switch that out sometimes. And I think that's where the problem can
I've
lie.
never had-
Y'all don't,
Mhm.
he needs to be the lead singer sometime and she needs to be back with the triangle. You know, you gotta,
Mhm. Yeah, that's balance, and that makes sense.
So
I mean-
who do you think is more needy, men or women?
Well, I guess it depends on
Okay.
the needs.
The needs are different. The needs are different. I can't say one's more needy than the other. I'll say that the needs are different.
Okay, Brandon, elaborate for me.
Okay, so trying to think how to even approach this. In terms of needs being different. All right. We just talked about earlier where a good guy, a negative trait could be that he's working and unavailable to give all this time. I don't know if guys feel that same way about the availability of time as much as women do. Where it's, wanting to feel the physical connection and paying attention and being, I don't know if that's always exactly the same need for guys as it is for women. I'm just noticing the difference.
Yeah,
might
yeah.
be a little different, but I will say that, and part of why I'm single, is because I am busy and I'm often unavailable. And guys do not like that. They can't stand it. They can't stick
Really?
around for it. And I'll own it. I can't talk to you all day. I can't right now.
And maybe it's just personality. Maybe it's not a gender thing. Maybe it's just personality types.
Could be. I don't know.
Like I said, it depends on the needs.
Because I'm a same man.
I mean, there's people that could be in relationships to where it's like they have no problem having long distance relationships.
Yeah.
Like miles apart, only see each other 4 times a year and they're cool. Whereas
Yep.
other people, it's like they constantly have a yearning for a physical connection. You know what I mean? Always
know
having
that-
to see each other, whatever. And
I
that's
don't normally hear guys complain about that as much as I've heard women complain about it.
I
You
think
know
about,
guys,
it's not that
I
about
think
missing
guys
a
just
woman?
leave.
I don't think that it's you physically complain. I think it comes out it comes out in different ways.
like behavior.
Like for instance, like right now, like with me, I'm in school, and my husband works Monday through Friday, and I waitress on the weekend. So typically, I'll work an evening Thursday, an evening Friday, and most of the day Saturday. But I always leave Sunday for my family. But I could tell whenever he like really misses me. He doesn't verbalize it. He doesn't say, "Babe, I missed you." He like wants to be at my butt, like every move.
Mm.
And it's like, you want to do something? You want to go somewhere? He's like, "We going for dinner?" He'll come and bother me, and I'm like, "Baby, I'm just doing my homework. Like, I need?" But he won't say that. But then for me, like, if I take off a weekend or whatever, or on Saturdays, I typically don't work till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. He'll go to work. And I'm like, "Why are you going to work?" Like, he's like, "Because it's overtime, it's money." And I'm like, "Okay." And I'd be like, "Well, I'm picking up an extra shift." Instead of saying, "Oh, honey, stay home with me, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "Okay, cool." And it's like, really? Like, you ain't going to like say, "Oh, babe, don't go to work." I'm like, "But baby, I have to go to work. I got to make this money." He's like, "Okay." Then it's like, okay, he really wants me to be around, but does that sound crazy?
Yeah, they don't.
But the
Oftentimes
thing is
don't
that
verbalize it.
You don't verbalize it at all. At all.
That goes back to us talking about guys don't talk about their feelings.
Thank you for saying it before I did.
Yeah, they don't. But they like you said, it comes out though.
I mean,
Yes,
because
It comes out.
it comes
guys
out.
get accused of being clingy for being overly affectionate.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, hey, Brandon, have you ever experienced this before where you just get nagged for like quality time, and then the moment you give it, then it's like they're too busy all of a sudden.
I've never,
Yeah.
never, ever, ever, ever.
I've been through it. A buddy of mine
Well,
around
maybe
here,
that means that at that point you need to schedule it with her.
a buddy of mine, like he tells me about how his wife will act like she don't got time for him, right? When he's home, but then when he goes to work, then she's still mad because he don't have time for her. And it's like he can't win.
But there needs to be some meeting of the minds. Okay, like for instance, this dude I used to deal with, like he would get frustrated that I was busy. He wouldn't say it, but he would show it.
Mhm.
And I'm busy, but I want to see you and I want to hang out with you. But in order for us to hang out, you probably gonna have to schedule with me. Alicia knows that, just as my homegirl.
See?
But
I've had people get mad about. I've had people get mad about that. I've had people get mad like,
And
"Hey,
he'll be like, I ain't scheduling.
see, right? See, I've had it. I can relate on that one. I mean, cool. Let's spend time. I got a block between 1 and 3. We can. When we gonna schedule it?
I
And I don't mind blocking.
I refuse to
I'm
schedule
gonna block
quality
you.
time.
I don't have a
You know
problem
why?
with blocking you in. I love it. And actually, it's easier because it's like if you're dealing with somebody, say you're gonna spend a night at their house or whatever. I need to go home. I need to shower. I need to pack a bag. I need to prepare for the next day. So if I know I'm going, now I'm ready. I'm ready.
But also, the blocking allows me to focus on that person within that time versus multitasking to try to do other shit while they're around because we don't have this structured time thing.
Yes.
Man.
But he got mad. Like, I ain't scheduling with you.
It's a weird thing. The reason why a guy will say he's not going to schedule because schedules change. And the last thing a guy wants to do is always find himself putting himself on in a situation where he can always just get canceled or rearrange the move. You know what I mean?
That's unfair.
Most guys don't want to operate
be like, oh,
in
you're
that
going to
frame.
change the schedule. That's unfair. Because if I schedule, I hold to my appointments. That's one thing
you hold to your appointments. That doesn't mean all women do.
You know what?
No, I ain't saying that by any means, but that's unfair to be like, oh, I ain't scheduling because people don't hold up to their.
This sounds like those spouses. Normally it's the wife on these like musician biopics where like the person's on the road, and she's just mad because you're always on the road. I'm like, but the road money is what pays for all the shit for the family. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
She's upset because she don't get enough time. What?
She needs you.
But how she don't have both?
So then he needs to figure out how she can have both. Because what she said she needed was you.
But if your job, like, all right, say you're in the military.
If you're throwing me money and I say, I need you.
Women want a 3-headed coin.
No, we want you to hear us. And she just said, I need to spend more time with you. And you're saying, oh, well, I pay the bills.
Yeah, well, the reason why he's away is because of that. So what if someone's supposed to do where their occupation requires them to be away from the home? Like if you're in the military, if you're in the military, or let's say you're a rock star and you're on the road for a 14-month tour, or if you are in the military and you gotta be deployed for a couple of years, what's supposed to happen with that?
If you're deployed for a couple of years, you can't.
Oh, I've seen what happens.
If you're a musician, what you say, Shay?
Yo, in the Navy, guys would go on leave, right? No, I mean, not leave. They would get deployed, right? Whether they're surface or sub, they would get deployed. Next thing you know, you go to the barracks and you see all these brooms lined up outside the front door, meaning that the wives are lonely and they're looking for somebody to stop by. I would see that. I'll be like, man, I will never enroll in the military.
But then I think people bite off more than they can chew sometimes too. Like for me, I can't be in a relationship where the person got to be gone for that long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that. And I don't want to do that. So I'm not set up like that. I don't want to do it. So I think sometimes people bite off more than they can chew as well. But I feel like when you're dealing with like a musician, you have to schedule that time. Okay, you're going to be gone for this amount of time, but you need to pencil me in if you want this relationship to work.
That's like being in a relationship with a truck driver.
That's another thing. And I've been there, done that as well.
If you're working on a cruise ship or you're doing like,
or a flight attendant.
Then y'all may not be compatible if you can't find a middle ground for the both of y'all to get y'all's needs met.
Like when I watch movies, I always get mad at the spouses for like being pissed. Like you're never here. I'm like they're out doing some awesome shit.
Well,
it don't matter. Their needs not getting met. Their needs are not getting met.
She was highly contentious. Like she would complain about me not being around, but then when I am around, she want to play Farmville all day.
Farmville?
Yeah, it's a game on.
I just want you there. I just want you around.
Huh?
I just want you there. I just want you around.
Present.
Feel your
parallel play.
Energy.
So it's
present.
Like, how does that work? You know, it's like.
So how it works is you come home, and then if you got a problem with Farmville, be like, babe, I don't mind being home, but you got to put the Farmville down.
Right. You know, that was my whole thing. So it's like, and it was funny because she would do that all day long. And you know, I'd be like, okay, you want to focus on the Farmville? I'm gonna do this. Oh, you don't never spend no time with me. It was like, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah, because she wants you around. She just said it to you. I want you around.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten mad at someone for working too much.
Listen, my husband plays video games, and you know what he says to me? I just want you to sit in here with me while I play my video games.
Well, she
my ex was a gamer. My high school sweetheart was a gamer. I'm not a gamer. I'll play every once in a while, but I'm not a gamer by any means. But what we would do back in the day was he would play the game. At the time, I was in college. So I would sit with him and do my homework, or maybe I'm playing Farmville, which I really ain't playing Farmville. I'm playing on my phone or whatever. But we're present. We're together. You're doing what you do, and I'm sitting here beside you doing what I do.
So you're saying, all right, I'm saying in this context. So basically, if you want the person you're with to be around, but you refuse to look at him, talk to him, or anything, but you just want him to just be there, just kind of just existing, but not really existing like a piece of furniture.
It's called parallel play, Shane. Is that a lot of people do that?
No, I'm saying
that my husband started that with us. Like the same way Sherelle said that she would be like, he would be playing the video game and I would be doing my homework because, you know, I'm in school. I do my homework or whatever, but we would still be having a conversation and kind of just laughing.
But see, that's
my leg is on your leg.
Actually interacting, even though he's there.
Your leg, but it doesn't matter. Sometimes women need you there physically. We just need you in the room. Like some of us, when we're PMSing, like I'm angry, but I just need you. I need somebody else here. I need somebody here. Their energy, maybe that leg is touching my leg. We don't have to be doing nothing that involved all the time. But I also was saying, Shane, that if you had a problem with the Farmville, you have a right to say that as well.
Oh yeah. I definitely.
I don't want to just sit here and watch you play that game.
I mean, because it's like I said, she was different. She was the type of person that would like eat all the food, purposely leave nothing left. Yeah. Brandon knows.
That's because I know what you're talking about.
What would she say when you said that to her?
She wouldn't even look at me. But the moment I leave the room, she would complain like I did something wrong.
How long were y'all together?
You left.
No, we was only married for about 2 years.
But listen, why y'all get married if she's selfish like that?
Well, because
she showed you this beforehand.
No.
No?
Because there was no kids beforehand. There were no kids beforehand. It's
Okay,
like,
so the kids brought it about.
yeah, so
Because
basically when
there's
she,
red flags. People show who they are. Like people show who, but I do understand like kids can change
well,
the
yeah,
whole
because like before there was kids, no, after the kids, she wasn't the center of attention no more. And that's when she started to reveal a lot of narcissistic tendencies.
Okay.
And that's when there was like a whole big shift in personality, because it's like my focus was on working, taking care of the home, making sure everybody had everything they needed, and also providing the balance of making sure we had some entertainment and things to do as a family. But because she was so narcissistic, she wanted to really control every aspect of everything. You know what I mean? Even down to like gaslighting and all this other stuff. So it's like when I say that she would complain about me not spending time with her, I spend time with her, but she act like I ain't never spend no time with her. You know what I mean?
I just don't want no one to want to get mad at me for like working.
It's
Yeah.
not that she's mad at you for working. It's because she asked to spend time with you and you have not obliged.
You
That is
know,
it. You
No,
have disregarded
I
that
have a
need.
different view and perspective on that, Brandon.
Yeah, because it's like I could spend like a day and a half, maybe take 2 days off from work, and it still don't count.
No, because a lot of y'all, and I'm not saying everybody, y'all will take time off of work for what you want to take time off work for, or you'll make time for what you want to make time for. But if I ask you to make time, you don't want to make time. It's
Oh,
always I
that's
gotta work, I gotta
completely
work.
not true.
No, that's no there is some truth to that in some situations.
Because here's the thing,
And then
it's like, and I can say not just for myself speaking, but a lot of men will first be like, okay, what do you want to do? I have this time set aside for just us. And then the woman will get mad just for being asked that question. And it's like, wait a minute. What do so you just want to be mad just to be mad? Or do you want to focus on actually doing something healthy?
well, remember you said this was a narcissistic girl you were dealing with.
Yeah.
So there we have it.
She got a whole different meaning.
Set of
Our
stuff going on.
conversation. But
like I'm just saying, like
Mhm.
if you're working all the time and she's saying I need you, and you're just like I gotta work,
Mm-hmm.
you've left her. You left her.
Right. So let's put the shoe on the other foot.
And you
Okay.
taking
What
2
if
days
a
off
woman-
from work.
Put that
Wait.
shoe on my foot.
You wait a minute. You took 2 days off, but what are you gonna do going forward, or what can we do going forward to see that both of our needs are being met here?
Well, sometimes the need at the time is for the woman to get her need met so the man can go back to a relaxed state of being.
Oh Lord, here come. Here come.
Well,
Here
anyway,
come.
back to getting the shoe on the other foot. Let's flip the script. Let's say if the woman is the one working all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy says, the same thing. I want you to be around. Most women will respond with, some version of, you can't control me type of thing. You know what I mean? Because
I don't know what you mean.
I don't know if that's most, but there definitely are some women who will be that way. And I
it has nothing
feel
to
like
do with control.
you got to be dealing with somebody who is wanting to work with you when you have a problem, and that's what I mean about these red flags that are shown in advance. Is this person working with you? Is this person hearing you out? Is that person trying to, you said you want to see me more. When he said he wanted to see me more, I said, okay, well, we got to schedule it. That's how I can oblige this for you.
Okay. So if a man said to you, well, if you want to see me more, we got to schedule it, how would you respond?
I would say, let's schedule it. I might be annoyed by it, but all right, so when can we do it?
Okay.
Because I know how my schedule is.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just say this. because I have run into that issue where, we were on opposite schedules, and and my whole thing is date night. I like date night. So, oh well, we used to do date night on the weekend, and you work on the weekend now. Okay, I'm taking off in 2 weeks. What are we doing? Oh well, no. You want to do date night? I want to do date night. You
Mhm.
said that I don't have the time to do it. I take it off, and now it becomes, uh, oh well, this is what you want. So what do you want to do? No, we can do something together. What do you want to do? Let's figure it out. So we had an issue where I took off, and I'm like, okay, I'm off. Let's do something. Oh, I've been working all week. I'm tired.
Yeah, I've seen that happen before in couples. That's
Whoa,
kind of
whoa,
jacked up.
whoa, whoa,
That's
wait.
real messed up.
No, 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 no.
Yeah, no, I mean, ain't you tired for your girl? Go out on a date, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean that's real messed
Oh,
up.
I'm too
See, too,
tired.
like when
Fuck
it
that.
comes to like the man and the woman, like if the person's asking for more time from you,
Right.
they might get
I
that
believe
time,
that
but
if
you
two
don't want to
people
give them
agree on
like the
something, they better
sloppy.
stick
They
to
might
it.
get that time, but you don't want to give them like the sloppy second. Like they don't want to get the worst part of you that's left over. You've worked all day, now you're tired. You've done all these different
You
things.
better take
Now
a Red Bull and get it.
get
Yeah,
it
Take a Red
see,
Bull.
cracking. Like they
Get it
don't want
doing,
the
man.
worst. She or he is asking for you to be there and be present and enjoy being there, be excited about being there, and then you come like, "Ugh, well, I called off work. What do you? I'm tired. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
Nah, man,
I
fuck that.
agree. I agree with what you're saying, Sherelle.
Tired
And
of
that
y'all
is kind of
tired
messed
folks.
up if two people agree to something and the other person act like they just want to renege. I
I'm
mean,
tired of
not
y'all
even
that would
tired
just
renege.
folks.
They're there,
that
but
would
they're
piss
not
me off.
pleasant. They're not kind. They're dry. They're I want to be I want to be as exciting as your video game where you go play it. Like, you know,
Mhm.
Well, see, all right. So I've said this to him, like, man, you're always in your phone. Well, then be better than what I'm looking at my phone, and go ahead. And then I got nothing. Then I'm like, tell a joke, a story, something. What you got?
see,
Nothing.
that's wrong, Brandon.
That's so wrong.
That is
Mm.
so wrong.
But you know what though? Here's the difference though. Here's the difference though. If someone were to do it to me, I'm ready. I got some exciting stuff. I'm ready to get cracking. Let's do this. Let's have it. I'm ready to do it.
Although your mama joke.
Hurtful. That's hurtful for women.
Mm.
That's hurtful for women.
I don't know. I mean, but I haven't said that to someone I was with. I've said that
Now,
to
Well,
if I
friends.
go on a date and a woman
I've
got her
said that.
face in
I've
the
said
phone,
that to
I'm done.
friends though.
Because
I
obviously
said
the
that to
phone is
friends like,
more important than me.
say it again, Shane.
I said, if I go on a date and a woman has her face stuck in the phone, I'm done. Because obviously the phone is more important than me.
it's not more important, just more entertaining.
I don't know about that. I'm guilty of that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Hear me out. I would work. I was Ubering. I'm
Mhm.
I'm performing and gigging. I'm doing Amazon Flex. I'm also a social worker. My money is on my phone. So not only is it my entertainment, but people are
Mhm.
constantly hitting me up for gigs, hit me up for a ride, hit me up for a
Right.
delivery. So my phone, would be in my phone.
So they're
Now,
getting mad
Now
at
I
you
can
for working.
understand
That's what I'm
that.
saying, man.
I
You getting
can
mad at me for working.
completely understand
right.
that.
Now if I'm
However,
called on it, I will try to work with you. But
right,
that is my nature to be in my phone because
That's it.
my
right.
family live out of town.
It's not that bad.
It's my
Anybody
nature.
tripping
No,
in the
because
phone?
Terrell, I don't.
Now,
I
now
don't.
I
Because
can,
I
I
don't
can, I
agree
can
with being on
say
the phone.
that.
Especially when you're out and about, I don't agree. Because I just like, especially if it's like, damn, if I had to schedule this time with you already and you're in your phone, we're gonna have a problem.
No,
No.
I'm not
We're gonna have a
saying it
problem.
like that. It shouldn't be a problem. I'm just saying this is my nature and who I am. If you addressed it with me, then I'll try to work with you.
You'll do
But
better.
See,
it's
You'll
if
not
I
learn.
was
that
You'll do
someone,
it's
better.
not that you're less important to me. But
if I
it's
was someone
my
who's always in
money.
their phone, then we're gonna find a game to play through our phones. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, we're gonna play Words with Friends. We're gonna play chess. We're gonna do something through the phone. Then that's cool.
Oh, But it isn't an indication of how I feel about you.
Exactly, but they don't understand it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
some people don't get that, but I mean, it ain't like
I
you
mean, it's
can't.
kind of, I don't know. I guess different people interpret it differently because I know that if I was in my phone, some people would just be offended. Like,
Woo! You
I
want
get
to look at
like,
my
what?
face?
You don't want to look at all of this?
I know me and my husband get into it over that damn phone when we're on date night. Like we used to play a game. Whoever looks at their phone first has to pay the bill.
Cool. I bring all the money. All right, I'm paying.
Like
I'm
so
fine
right
with working
there.
with my man
Yeah.
on that. Maybe unless some family, I'm waiting on a family member call or something. But I'm fine with working with my man on that. If he say something, man, you like it? All right, babe, sorry.
See, we know it all. All right. So what I try to do now, because this has been an issue in my life in the past, is I try to make sure that I'm not in my phone during those times.
Yeah,
I think
feel
it's
you,
important to be
Brandon.
attentive
I'm
because
guilty of that
that's
as
a
well.
sign to
Yeah.
me. Like, I can understand, having to conduct business, but it's like at certain times business hours should be shut down. You know what I mean?
What are you talking about? Business is 24/7 international. Maybe because I work at a
Depending
bank,
on what you
but that's
do,
what it.
if somebody say, "Can you
If
sing at this
if you're a
funeral
surgeon on
tomorrow?"
call, that's one thing because you saving
Hey.
lives.
Hey,
If somebody texts me and say,
Whatever.
"Can you sing at a funeral at 10 a.m. tomorrow?"
right? Yo,
Yeah.
nah, business don't shut down. No,
Not for certain
No.
jobs, they don't.
no.
But I do
No.
feel you. Like you can't. It's nothing wrong to confront. that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with my business, I get messages all the time, but it's like those messages I can get back to. That's just how I feel because there
Well,
was a time
maybe.
where I
All right, it
always
depends on if you
questioned-
got it like that.
Huh?
Not every job you can do that. I know, like as she says, being a musician, sometimes people need answers very quickly. And you can lose out on money if you don't respond.
Yeah.
If you
Well,
want to
yeah,
wait
that's
till the next
understandable.
day,
But that's understandable. But at the same time, you got to set boundaries with people too, because they'll treat you like a machine after a while.
And I think too, if the boundary could be you might glance at it, answer it, put your phone down. Now you're not like me because I live
Right.
alone. I ain't got no kids or none of that. I just sit and chill and scroll because it's just
Right.
therapeutic.
I can
You
forgive a
can't be
glance. I
sitting,
can
chilling, and
understand that because
scrolling
I
while
do
you
that.
with your man.
I can understand like glancing because I do that, but it's like
Yeah, like
if I'm
hit the
talking to you and
glance
all I
when
see
you
is the
with
top of
somebody.
your head for the whole night, nope.
you better start juggling, doing some magic acts, get your entertainment level up.
No.
What I don't like is if you're in your phone and you're trying to hide it while you're like it's dinging and you holding it to the side so the person don't see what you reading. You're trying to like what like get.
Well, yeah, if you're trying to be sneaky about shit,
That's right.
Yeah, that's
that's
definitely
a different issue.
yeah, that's definitely showing that this person is not keeping my interest or.
Oh, no. Sorry.
But other than that, like I've been in
But I'm with
situations where
Alicia on the
we
phone
lay up
thing.
and scroll together. Like, look at this, babe. Look at this,
See?
babe.
That's different.
Those are cool too. Oh,
It's
those are
different
great
whenever
moments.
Whenever you're chilling, and that's the vibe that you're getting.